Hi guys, happy Monday. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a longer one than I normally post, but something keeps telling me I've got to put it out there. So I'm a holistic nutritionist, as most of you know, and I have been one for 10 years. 10 years, wow. I've done a lot of consulting in that time, and I've been on my own incredible personal transformation as well. But I decided in the past year to step away from consulting. That was always the main thing that I did, the main component in my business. I would consult with clients. The majority of them were women experiencing hormone issues, weight issues, struggling with, their diets, all of those typical things. Anyway, when I went to school, it was the very traditional method. I came out, and it wasn't really until I was in the real world and consulting that I figured out my way. Hey, especially over the last few years, I've really learned that you go to school and you come out and you're in this tunnel, you have this tunnel vision, hey? Mustn't stray outside the box. And I've lived a lot of my life like that. I'm a big rule follower, and just a good girl, stay inside the box. But something was niggling away at me. It was seeing how the majority of my clients would follow the rules, but things still wouldn't work for them. Hey, I would follow the rules. Things still wouldn't work for me. I would follow people on social media and everything was just so strict. Again, it was just like, you follow this path, you do exactly A, B, C, and D, and you'll get to Z. But it wasn't working. There was something missing. And I think when I had my own mental health journey, when I had my near nervous breakdown, and completely broke and started putting myself back together, that I really saw my clients in a different way. I saw that it's not just the food that you put on your plate, it's the mind and the spirit. And those two aspects, in some respect, are more important than what you are putting on your plate. Did I just say that? A nutritionist? Oh my God. We did a little bit of mind and spirit training in school, but we touched a pin drop, touched the surface. And it hasn't been till I've been on my own journey. I've been working with Jen Abra and Elevate Her Soul, also known as the Singing Medium, for the last 2 years. We've been working one-on-one coaching, and it's been phenomenal. It has allowed me to put my broken pieces back together and to really figure out who I am, who I truly am, what I truly want, to get out of here and into my heart and to live my life that way. And this is what so many of us are missing. We follow the diet, we follow the plan, we don't eat processed and packaged food, we eat all the right things, and things still don't work. We don't get the results that we want. And it's because we're not being true to ourselves. We're following the path that is being dictated to us. We are in our head, we have that negative self-talk. We don't think we're worthy. We look in the mirror and don't love what we see. So many of these things. This is just a small part of it, hey? And I think that was my biggest decision, to step away from consulting. It didn't feel right. I didn't want to follow the rules anymore. It wasn't working for my clients. And I knew why, but I didn't know how to help them. I had to figure out how to help myself first. And that was really when I started, doing my spiritual coaching. And it's just been life-changing. It's forever going. I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going 100% yet, but I'm leaning into it and I'm open to it, and I'm figuring it out as I go along, and I'm being true to myself, like for the first time in a long time. And I think another reason for me to jump on here and share all this with you is because I think a lot of you see me as this holistic nutritionist, and you think that my cupboards are look perfect and I don't have any processed or packaged food, and I always eat well. And that's not the case. It's especially over the last year, there's been a lot of journey. And I will tell you that my 12-year-old son, Ben, has taught me probably a big part of that journey in the last year. He's going to be a teenager this year. And if any of you know what 12-year-old boys are like, they don't stop. eating. And I've always been very strict about the food that I bring into the house. I don't buy bags and shoes. I spend my money on the food. That's what's important to me. And I've always, fed my kids really well, fed my family really well. But we come to a point where my son has a really big sweet tooth. I had that growing up. And I was being very controlling on what he could eat and what he couldn't eat. And I think we'd got into the conversation about good and bad foods, and I didn't like that. It never sit well with me. I don't like the eat this is a good food, stay away from this is bad food. It's not good for up here. It creates that narrative in your head that is going to stay with you forever and damage you forever. And I could feel this was going on and on with him. And I just suddenly thought one day, what are you doing? You're controlling him. He's only got a few more years left at home. I need to allow him to start on his own journey, which I should have done long ago. But anyway, so what we did is I sat down and had a conversation with him, and we've started buying a lot more foods that they request. So my kids, and Sam's 8, so he's getting to the point where he wants certain things too. And so I buy, what I've started to do is I've given Ben his own cupboard and Sam has his own drawer, and we're not in our own house right now because we're doing a major renovation. So hopefully I will be able to show you something on that this week, fingers crossed. But what I've done is now I've given them their own space. I ask them what they want me to buy for them. I obviously bring in a lot of good healthy food into the house, the fruits, the veggies, good quality proteins, organic dairy, those types of things. And I'm careful about the meat that I source. But what I have opened up more is that I'm bringing in a lot more maybe processed and packaged snacky food, and also food that I'm putting in the freezer, like meals that when I'm done, I don't want to cook. There's easy meals to pick, or Ben can actually make himself a meal. They may not be the greatest, but oh my God, they help me out emotionally and mentally, and that's what matters to me right now. So for example, in Ben's cupboard, what's the typical things he asks for is goldfish. I would never used to buy goldfish. Oreos, Welch's gummies, what else? Candy. I'll buy them candy for treats at the weekend. Pop is a big thing. Never used to buy pop. We used to have fizzy water. I buy bubblies. We have a soda stream. I buy Zevias for them. But lately we've started to buy pop for them to have at the weekends. And it's amazing. I had the conversation with Ben that obviously I will buy you these things once a week. You request what you want. If you eat them all, if you binge all them all in 2 days and they're gone, that's it. You're not allowed to go to your brother's and get his. Sam doesn't have that sweet tooth, so he doesn't eat a lot of that stuff. But he now is in control. So he has his cupboard. He doesn't have to ask me if he wants a snack. He's in charge. If anytime he wants anything to eat, he can go and get it. And it's amazing the difference that I've seen in him being, number one, being in control of being able to make his own food choices. But two, me allowing him these things, not restricting them. I know you'll listen to a lot of other people and they will be like, how could you bring those things in? And especially nutritionists, hey, a lot of us are very strict and won't bring that type of stuff in. But this is what is sitting well with me right now. This is what is working for my family right now. I'm not judging anybody else. I don't want my son to go down the same path that I did and have that emotional binging aspect with food. That is not good. That is not healthy. That is not good for your mental health. I don't want that for him. So for me to expand or allow him to have more control, for me to bring in other foods that he has specifically requested, that I don't pass judgment on, that I don't call bad, has made such a difference. And he's actually balancing things out really well. So anyway, I think, I don't even know, there's a lot that I'm saying, and maybe I'm not doing it in a great pattern or form, but this is just what is coming out of my mouth right now, and I felt the need to share it with you because I want you guys to know that yes, I'm a holistic nutritionist. I'm also a person that struggles with mental health. I am also a mum to 2 boys that love to eat and constantly eat, and I'm trying to navigate my way through that, and I'm trying to prepare my kids as best I can for the big wide world and the real world, because I can't protect them when they're out there. I want them to be ready and to learn to listen to their own bodies and their own minds and their own hearts, and to not have that negative self-talk that so many of us have when it comes to food and mental health, and to love themselves and to have confidence in themselves and to be able to make decisions for themselves and make mistakes and learn from them and all of that stuff that we all want for our kids. But yeah, that's where I'm at in my journey. I'm real like the rest of you. I struggle like the rest of you. I have good days. I have bad days. I eat well. I maybe don't eat so well. But I do what I need in that moment. And the most important thing to me right now is living authentically, is living my truth and teaching my kids to do the same. And however that looks in your family, that's okay. We don't have to fit into a mold. I think that's my thing. That's probably the purpose of this 11+ minute conversation, is break that mold, let it go. Put the pieces back together onto what you truly want in your life, how you truly want to feel, and don't put so much emphasis on what is on that plate in front of you or what is in your cupboards. Don't guilt yourself over that. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because oh my God, 11.5 minutes. If any of you have stuck with me till the end, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, for supporting me on my journey. I can't tell you where it's going to take me. Start my yoga teacher training this weekend, so that's exciting. That's probably going to open up another whole can of worms inside this thing here and here, but that's the path. That's the point. It's following that path one step at a time. And if it's just to have this conversation, I want to just open up this conversation about us being real in our kitchens, in our pantries, in our fridges, in our freezers, not hiding things. That we don't have to hide things. Nothing is bad. We just do what we need to in that moment. And I'm here, International Women's Day. I stand with you, all you women out there and men. Let's stand together and support each other instead of tearing each other down. I'm there with you. Thanks for listening, guys. Speak soon. Bye.